Good morning, Year 5, and welcome to another maths lesson. So today we're going to be moving on from yesterday and looking at multiplying 4 digits by 2 digits. Before we begin the lesson, could you please pause this video and write the date and the LO in your maths book. So the date is the 14th of the 1st, 21, and the learning outcome is multiply 4 digits by 2 digits. So just pause the video and do that now. Okay, great. So on the board, I have a calculation I'd like you to have a think about. So using your knowledge from this week, how do you think we would work out 1,243 times 22? And if you feel like you know how we might work this out, you could have a go at this in your maths book. But if you're still unsure, I will talk you through it in a minute. So just pause the video if you'd like to have a go at that in your maths book. Okay, so we use the same method as we have been in previous lessons, but except this time there's one more digit to multiply. I'm just going to go through how we'd find the answer to this multiplication. So as always, we start in the ones column. So I'm going to multiply 2 by 3, which is 6, and my 6 goes here in my ones column. Next I'm going to multiply 2 by 4, which is 8, and the 8 goes here in the tens column. Now I'm going to multiply 2 by 2, which is 4, and 2 by 1, which is 2. So here we have 2,486. Now I'm going to move on to the tens column. So 2 times 3 is 6, and our 6 goes here in our tens column. 2 times 4 is 8, and the 8 goes here in the hundredths column. 2 times 2 is 4, and our 4 goes here in the thousandths column, and 2 times 1 is 2, which goes here. And as always, I put a 0 at the end of mine to remind me. So here we have 24,860. And now to find our answer, we need to add these numbers together. So I'm going to start with 6 add 0 is 6. 8 add 6 is 14, so I put a 4 here and a 1 underneath. 8 add 4 is 12, add our 1 becomes 13. So I'm going to put another one under here. 2 add 4 is 6, and add the 1, that becomes 7. And we've got our 2 here, which stays as a 2. So our product is 27,346. So that is how we use column method to multiply 4 digits by 2 digits. So well done if you had a go at that and got that correct. Okay, so now that I've modelled how we use column method to do this multiplication, I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at this one in your maths book. So pause the video now and have a go on your own. Okay, well done if you had a go at that one on your own, and now I'm going to talk through what our product would be and how we find it. So I'm going to start with 1 times 3 here in the ones column, which is 3. 1 times 5, which is 5. 1 times 3, which is 3. 1 times 4, which is 4. Okay, and now onto our tens column. So 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 5 is 10. So I'm going to put my 0 here, and my 1 underneath. 2 times 3 is 6, and add the 1, that becomes 7. And 2 times 4 is 8. And I'm going to put a 0 at the end to remind me that there's nothing there. So we have 4,353 and 87,060. And now I'm going to add these two numbers together to find my product. So 3 add 0 is 3. 5 add 6 is 11. So I'm going to put a 1 there and a 1 underneath. 3 add 0 is 3, and add the 1, that becomes 4. 4 add 7 is 11, so again I'm going to put a 1 here and 1 underneath, and 8 add the 1 becomes 9. So my product is 91,413. So well done if you had a go at that one and got that answer correct. Okay, so you may start to begin to see a pattern in these mistakes, but I'd still like you to have a go. So could you please pause this video and try and spot the mistake within my calculations and my working out? So pause the video and see if you can spot my mistake. Okay, so the mistake in my workings out is that this one here in the ones column should be a 0, because anything you multiply in the tens column should start in the tens column and go from the left. So this one here should be a 0 and each digit should be one place to the left. So well done if you spotted my mistake. So as always, when you do this in your work on your own, I'd like you to try and avoid making this mistake, which is really easy to do. So make sure every time you multiply the tens column, there is a 0 in the ones column. Okay, so here is step 1 of the worksheet. So if you could pause the video now to complete that in your books, that would be great. And once you've finished, press play again to see step 2 of the worksheet. So pause the video now to complete step 2 of the worksheet as well. Okay, so here is the step 3 input. So on the board I have a problem I would like you to try and help me solve. So Jack likes to play video games. He managed to score 1,252 points for 13 games in a row. How many points has he scored altogether? So what I'd like you to do is pause the video and have a think about what multiplication you need to do here using column method. And if you feel confident, have a go on your own in your books. Okay, so the multiplication this problem is asking you to do is 1,252 times 13. And remember, the largest number goes on top of the multiplication here. So let's have a look at what our product would be. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15. So my 5 goes here and my 1 underneath. 3 times 2 is 6, add the 1 becomes 7. And 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, and now on to our tens column. So 1 times 2 is 2. My 2 goes here. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 1 is 1. And I'm going to place my 0 here. So now let's add our two answers together. So 6 add 0 is 6. 5 add 2 is 7. 7 add 5 is 12. Put my 1 underneath. 3 add 2 is 5. Add the 1 becomes 6. And I've got a 1 here that stays a 1. So my answer is 16,276. So well done if you got that correct. Okay, so if you're feeling like a challenge, here is step 3 of the worksheet. So here you have 3A and 3B. And once you've done those, you need to press play to see 3C and the extension on the next slide. So pause the video now to complete those 2 questions in your book. Okay, so here is 3C and the extension of the worksheet. So again, pause the video to complete these in your book. Okay, well done everyone for completing your independent work. Here is step 1 answer. So you need to pause the video to mark your step 1 answers. Okay, and here are the answers for step 2. So pause the video to mark your step 2 answers. Okay, and here is the answers to step 3. So pause the video again to mark your work. Once you've finished marking your work, could you please write a learning comment at the end of your work in your book? If you have a purple pen, that is great, but don't worry if not. Okay, thanks Year 5 for all your hard work today, and I'll see you tomorrow in another maths lesson.